So today's video comes courtesy of RPGSHOW. They sent over this gorgeous wig that I'm going to go ahead and slay from start to finish with you guys. It's a beautiful 20-inch lace wig. It comes equipped with some gorgeous curls styled by Tim. Absolutely loving this one. Didn't really do much to it and it was already ready to go. Pre-plucked. All I did was add powder to the parting. Didn't even have to bleach the knots and it blends so effortlessly with my skin. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you thought I was going to forget to ask you to do that, no. We're on a road to 100K. Now that you're all subscribed, make sure that you hit that bell button so you'll be notified every time I upload a video for you guys. Now let's jump into the tutorial. So when you receive your package, of course you get this beautiful box. It's a nice, hard, sturdy box. Has all their social media tags on here. And then of course, their logo on the front. When you open up your box, you have your beautiful wig awaiting for you, and it comes in this beautiful packaging here. So here is their magazine. They have their very own magazine. And in your package, you have this little sleeve right here. Ear tape for fixing lace wigs tightly on the head. Okay. So of course, the ear tape is none other than elastic. They give you a nice amount of elastic. This is way more than you'll need. So I'll be able to cut a piece of this and measure out and get my perfect length. And then of course you get some wig caps. And last but definitely not least, your wig. So this here is like a wig casing, wig sleeve, wig glove. Basically, this is travel wear for your wig. Once you take the wig out, it is nicely packaged and you have some gorgeous curls. In the inside, you have two combs in the front. You have a really good amount of parting space. And then if you flip it to the back, you have your adjustable straps as well as your comb. I'm going to style her on camera with you guys. But first, I'm going to add the elastic band and cut off the excess lace. And I'll be back and we're going to curl her and style her together. So I went ahead and added my elastic band and I adjusted the straps. I also cut the excess lace off the back. Okay, so the great thing about this wig as I continue to adjust it is that the wig itself already feels like it fits super snug. And then to add the icing on the cake, I've added this glueless band, which it feels like I really did not need, but even when I... So switching gears, you guys know I'm sounding a little bit dry and monotone in this video, so I wanted to go ahead and speed it up so that we're not here forever, and also kind of give you a little bit more of an upbeat tone because I'm just sounding like I'm falling asleep, girl. So here I am cutting the lace. This is how I always do it. I prefer to cut the lace with the wig on my head. I go ahead and I do like half, and then I do the other half instead of going straight across, and that just works best for me. Now I never do it super perfect, but I mean, you know, I'm happy I like the way that I do it. Sometimes a little bit of my lace comes off, or I cut a little bit of too much off. Sometimes I don't. Just be careful, go slow that you don't cut like an extreme amount off. Give your hair a nice comb through to make sure that, you know, you can see if it's shedding or anything like that. This wig didn't shed at all. Now the wig was pre-plucked, but I pretty much like my lace bald. Like whenever you see someone with a freaking like super duper slayed lace on Instagram and it just looks like it's coming out of their scalp and the baby hair is like fleeky without being too thick, a lot of the times it's just like 2 seconds away from being too bald. You know what I mean? You don't want bald spots. You kind of wanted to just make it thin out equally along the entire hairline, or at least what will be exposed. In this case, when you go all the way down to the sides, that part really won't be exposed, so you don't have to do too much over there. But this is all I took out. After you've went ahead and tweezed, make sure you brush out all that excess hair, because whenever you like tweeze the hairline, it kind of like settles into all that dead hair settles into the remainder of the wig. You kind of just want to brush that out. Now I'm gonna fix the parting and add some mousse. Mousse is kind of like my cheap way of flattening and styling the crown of my head without going in with like a hot comb and just taking my time. It gets rid of the flyaways. It makes it just look very salon, you know, styled and finished. It makes the crown look super flat. It just does all those things in one. If you don't have foam or if you don't want to use product, I would just recommend going and taking like part by part and kind of like how you would touch up your roots. Oh girl, get it, get it. Now normally I would take my babyless flat iron and like kind of just wherever I put that mousse, kind of like seal it in with heat. I did it with the curling iron, which did a great job, but my flat iron just does an amazing job at this. So here I tried a new powder, as you guys can see. My doorbell seems to always ring when I'm filming. Like, I don't know what it is. But I tried the Bobbi Brown foundation powder for the very first time. I hadn't even put it on my face yet. And as you guys can see, it gives you orange realness. So I tried to counteract that with the Cover FX. This video was filmed a short while ago. So now, opposed to all of those powders, I highly recommend the Maybelline Fit Me foundation powder from your local drugstore. It's like $8 a pop, and that one doesn't have that red that you see in my hairline. And it's kind of like once you get that red in there, it's hard to get rid of it without washing the wig. So I'm just going to go with it and let it get old, so to speak. Now, because it was already pre-plucked and I kind of thinned it out even more, I really didn't want to do too much baby hair because I felt like the hairline looked thin enough and natural enough and flat enough and all that goodness to where I didn't need to have like a whole thick heap of baby hair to cover up that lace, so to speak. So I put a lot, and I used my Got2b glue gel to kind of seal it. Whenever you use the Got2b glue gel, my favorite is the black because it's not as crusty when it dries. But whenever I use that, what I like is that as it dries, it kind of will mold or attach your lace to your hairline. It's basically, it'll do the Got2b glued method like quick and easy without having to like do it under the cap. I don't even know if I'm making any sense. But if you want to use something that's going to like bond your wig down, use the Got2b glued, and when it dries on your baby hair, it'll also basically Got2b glued your wig. So now I went ahead and added a little bit of a light oil sheen. This is the Care Silky Sheen, my absolute holy grail favorite at the moment. There goes my daughter. I went ahead and just touched up the curls. I did have this wig for a while before I went ahead and made this video, so my curls did drop a little bit. I tried it on like a month ago and I really loved it, but again, my curls drop. So when you get your wig, it definitely will have much tighter curls. So all I did was I went ahead and just touched them up real easy. It didn't really take much. Because this wig holds a curl so effortlessly, I didn't have any issues without having to use like a holding spray or anything like that through this process. I literally would just take a section, a big chunky section at that, curl it, hold it there for maybe about 15 seconds max, let it go, and the curl was absolutely there. Now if you want your curls a little bit tighter, I would definitely recommend using smaller sections to curl. Also, if you want to cut layers, especially like around the face and the bang, that'll give you a little bit more dimension if that's your choice. But I loved these thick, full, long curls that I achieved. Basically a touch up of what Touched by Tim did with this wig. Absolutely love this wig. It's very natural around the crown, yet still full and, you know, just flawless altogether. This is a beautiful wig. So I did speed through the curling process because I just didn't want to get too mundane. I didn't necessarily like curl every single section. Again, I was just kind of touching up because my curls did drop from me, you know, waiting so long to film this video. So now that I'm done with my curls, I'm going to go ahead and just take a finishing spray. This one here is like a GVP version of, I forget which one it is, but I'll have it linked down below. And this is just kind of going to give me a little bit of volume in the front. Kind of like it when it looks super duper flat and laid in the front, like super duper laid. An easy alternative to the products that I use is like a wax. I know back in the day we used to love to use the wax sticks. I forget the brand it was, but like when I was in high school there was this one brand that used to make your hair look so bomb. Then they discontinued it. So yeah, a wax stick will work great. A holding spray, just anything that you have. What I used is all linked in the description box. But you guys can see my hair looks laid, like I'm coming out of the freaking salon. No flyaways. No confusion. My only flaw was that I used the wrong powder in the parting. So it looks good in the sense of the knots are concealed, but it's super duper red. So that's my one flaw, but of course I'll go ahead and fix it later. Now here, I wanted the curl in the front to be a little bit more defined. So I kind of just curled the top half of that curl, if that makes any sense. Again, a great way to do this is just go ahead and add layers. I felt like there wasn't enough volume, you know, in the front. So that was kind of my way of like making the curls go up a lot higher in the front. That way it kind of just gave me a little more oomph. Say, love this hair so much. Just went ahead and touched it up and gave it my own little finesse. As a matter of fact, I have all the information here, so let me just let you know what it is right now. Again, this wig comes from RPGSHOW. The designer on this wig is Touched by Tim, which I believe is silky texture, 20 inches long. The natural hair color, the cap size that I got is size 1. Lace is medium brown, which worked out really well because it blends with my natural scalp and hair really well. And then I got a cap bead construction, which is a lace front wig. If you want to branch out and buy curling irons, I recommend this one as the first one. It's not too big and it's not too small. I believe this is a 1.5 inch. Might be a 1 1/4, but I'll link it down below either way. Yeah, and you'll be able to get some really good curls out of this one. You can use a little hair in it, a lot in it. You can do beach waves, shorty typical curls, whatever you want. It curled this hair amazingly. This hair took a curl amazing. Obviously it was already curled, so I didn't expect otherwise. And then whenever you do your curls, just let them sit, like, you know what I'm saying, like do your curls. And the spray that I'm using is the Sebastian Shapers Plus. Love the Sebastian Shapers. I've been using it for about 10 years now. But I'm just going to use my fingers. A lot of times I'll use a wide tooth comb to let my curls go. I'm so sorry. I do have on a black shirt, so it's kind of messing with you being able to see the full what's going on with the curls. But I am Team YouTube today. I am repping hard for my job. As I run my fingers through the wig, I feel like this hair holds a curl amazingly because the curls will break up, and then as soon as I kind of like tease it back into the tighter curls, it'll go back to it. So that is amazing that the curls don't just instantly drop like some hair that I've tried. And yeah, it looks very snatched, natural, yet still looks kind of full and, you know, amazing. So check out RPGSHOW. I have all the information on this wig listed in the description bar for you guys to check out. Hope you guys enjoyed this slay, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.